This is a hot dog, a staple of any 4th of July picnic, a quintessentially American food. But there's more to the hot dog than meets the eye. In fact, it turns out that many American traditions, like blue jeans, donuts, and baseball, all share the same secret, which ties them to some of the United States' most vulnerable newcomers. I'm Mark Guiney, a producer at the Heritage Foundation, and this is PolicyLAB. We gave our test subjects parts of a mysterious device and told them to construct it and make it work.
Do you actually know what this is?
No.
What the heck am I looking at here?
It looks like a gyroscope, so we gotta figure out how to make it spin.
I don't even know what a gyroscope does.
This is not my strong suit at all.
Looks like it could spin.
I feel like this is somehow goes.
It looks like it could be, oh.
That's not good.
Okay, well you clearly have to do that. Right, Adam?
Piston sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is...
Something.
Oh, like this? Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Now these little guys. Oh yeah, there we go.
Looks like a little, motor and engine.
What do we do?
Yeah,
Got
that
it?
sounded right. Just a little bit.
There we go. And then hit it.
Oh, okay.
Hey, look at it go!
Vanna White.
Wow, this is incredible.
It's real technology.
That's fun.
Neat.
This device is called a Stirling engine, and it's driven by the expansion and contraction of hot gases. In this case, the air heated by the liquid in the cup. It was invented by Scottish engineer Robert Stirling in 1816, who hoped it would be a safer competitor to the steam engine, which had a bad habit of occasionally exploding. And so, it came across the Atlantic to compete in the Industrial Revolution in America. In the same way, hot dogs were originally a German food brought to the US by a Polish immigrant. Donuts were borrowed from the Dutch. The earliest versions of baseball were played in Great Britain as early as the 15th century, and blue jeans were named by a Swiss banker and later received their signature rivets from German immigrant Levi Strauss. That's the secret. All of these great American traditions originally came from elsewhere. They are immigrants. People of all nationalities, beliefs, and backgrounds have contributed to this unique nation we call the United States of America. America has a proud legacy of accepting immigrants from abroad, but there are also many ways we can improve, particularly in regards to the unique group of people we call asylum seekers.
Just by the numbers, no country is or has been more generous to immigrants than the United States. Since 1999, the U.S. has admitted, on average, 1 million legal immigrants a year. That number doesn't account for the millions of illegal aliens in the country right now. These migrants come from a wide variety of countries and circumstances. They could be permanent or temporary, and the overwhelming majority come for economic reasons. But legitimate asylum seekers are a different kind of migrant. An asylum seeker is a migrant who is unable or unwilling to return to his or her country of nationality because of persecution or a well-founded fear of persecution on account of race, religion, nationality, membership in a particular social group, or political opinion. The only difference between asylum and refugee seekers is that those seeking asylum claim it when entering or already within the United States, as opposed to refugees who apply for the status outside the country. So, if you're in legitimate danger based on those criteria, you are potentially eligible for asylum in the United States. The UN Refugee Agency has counted over 3 million refugees admitted to the US since 1975. But in the last decade, the numbers of people applying for this protection has exploded, increasing by 1,700% over the last 10 years. For legitimate asylum seekers, that's bad. Really bad. Here's why. Some people push the idea that all asylum requires under US law is that the migrant's home country be in worse shape than the United States. But that would make virtually every third world migrant eligible for asylum, including those who are facing no danger at all. This means that people who should be going through the normal channels to become a US immigrant are instead being pushed to make false claims for asylum, and they're doing it in huge numbers. Right now, only about 1 in 5 asylum claims end up being granted. That means all those other claims are slowing down the process. There are almost 600,000 asylum cases and over 1.2 million total cases pending in immigration court. Over a million. And that's just in court. U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services also has over 374,000 asylum cases awaiting decisions. That means that some asylum seekers are waiting over 2 years for their cases to be decided. Our asylum system is completely overwhelmed, and legitimate asylum seekers and U.S. taxpayers are being punished. To fix the current mess, we need to create some strategies to let us sort through the false and the legitimate claims, including more funding for immigration court judges, prosecutors, and associated staff, more tools for immigration judges, such as the power to dismiss false claims and hold attorneys who break the rules in contempt. And we need more resources to detain individuals throughout the course of their proceedings. But to really get at the heart of the problem, the U.S. should prevent meritless asylum applications from being filed in the first place, preventing the dangerous journey too many people make to get to the U.S. to make such claims. To do this, Congress will need to get together and change the way asylum is claimed in 2 key ways. First, rather than applying for asylum at U.S. borders, asylum seekers traveling to the U.S. southern border should be required to apply for refugee status with the United Nations Refugee Agency at their nearest location. If they pass up the UN refugee opportunity, still travel to the US border, and say they're a refugee, our border officials should question the migrant as to why they did that. If they don't have a good answer, that's reason to suspect that they might not be telling the truth. Second, the federal government should also keep and continue pursuing safe third country agreements with countries in Latin America, requiring potential asylum seekers to seek help in those closer countries before coming to the U.S. Immigrants with viable claims of asylum or other meritorious claims for legal status in the United States should have confidence that their cases will be handled in a fair, legal, and expeditious manner. And because our immigration court system is overwhelmed, outdated, and in dire need of reform, cases of merit are buried by meritless cases, each of which can take years to resolve. Let's work together in dealing with those who are legitimately in danger and stop the continued abuse of our immigration system.
As it turned out, the Stirling engine never really surpassed the steam engine in terms of its industrial use. That's kind of sad, I guess. But you know what's not sad? Subscribing to the Heritage Foundation YouTube channel. Here you can stay informed on solutions for American government and future episodes of PolicyLAB. Tastes like civics.